All right, so picking away on the driver's side, as you saw earlier, I wired the MSD box in, but now I even went further and actually cleaned up the wiring and tidied it up, loomed it, got that all loomed and perfect. The little junction block for the ignition 12-volt source for it, and I went a step further and mounted the coil over here. Now, factory on these FSJs, full-size Jeep, Wagoneer, Cherokee, J10, etc. They're usually mounted on top of the block over there on the intake, kind of by the oil fill over there. And that's where this one was mounted, and, which is all fine and well. I kind of was like, I don't know, I don't really like the coil being, that close to the engine heat, radiator engine heat coming up. Granted, it's still somewhat close over here, but I mounted over here for a couple reasons. For what I just mentioned, the heat. Two, when I was routing, because of course now, instead of the coil being connected to the door spark box that used to be right here, now it's actually being connected straight to the MSD box. And the coil leads from the MSD box, well, I routed them to go all the way around with the engine harness there, all the way around to where it's supposed to be on the intake. And sure enough, it was too short, the harness, for the leads for the coil. Now, I could have extended it to make it reach there, but instead I was like, well, heck with that. I want to relocate the coil. So relocate it over here, and now I'm actually going to shorten the harness going to the coil, because now I have way too much, of course, so I'm going to order some connectors and probably run it down here with this harness down here for the lighting and have it come straight up and right there. And of course I still have plenty of length, or plenty of length for the coil lead to the distributor. You can still reach it there. And it doesn't seem like, I was wanting to make sure it wasn't going to be in the way of messing with like the power steering pump or getting my hands down here to the spark plugs to change those out. And it looks like it's going to be not in the way. Now it would be in the way if I had the factory cruise control hooked up, because of course the cruise control servo sits right here. That's why these two bolts are here. It usually sits right about here. I honestly don't know if it would clear one. Mine didn't have that anymore. Somebody, as you can see, was very nice enough just to hack it out, the wiring and the vacuum hose going to it, and then just eliminate it, gonzo, which is fine and well, because I really don't use cruise control that often, to be honest. I do have a cruise control silver somewhere around here from a parts Jeep. I kept it just in case I do want to hook it up, of course, because I could probably splice all this garbage back together for it to connect here. We'll see if I ever do that though, because again, I really don't use cruise control very much, if at all, to be honest, throughout my whole driving career. So annoys the heck out of my girlfriend, but I don't know. There's never been a cruise control fan. So it's probably gonna be fine for me, of course. So I have plenty of clearance. I checked for the coolant reservoir and the windshield washer reservoir, and of course that soup can that was right here, I was missing too for the cruise control, to hold the vacuum for the cruise control. That was gone, so that doesn't matter. So that's what's going on. So yeah, the bracket, as you can see, that I made, will hold the coil. It's nice and sturdy. It's kind of like a two-piece bracket. Had some leftover sheet metal from another project. I cut this and made this bracket there, drilled some holes, and then for support I just had another scrap piece of metal from another project. I made a little plate, and it ended up being, I measured twice and ended up would have to cut twice and it didn't work. It was too small. So that went in the scrap pile, and that's why I never throw anything out, because, well, this came in handy. It was actually I didn't even have to cut it. I just had to bend it. It was the perfect size to make it work for this bracket. So now it makes it nice and sturdy. So, and then of course I reused the little coil holder. I just drilled out holes to match that, so I made it nice and perfect. So, I mean, good enough for the skills I have and for what little tools I have. You know, I made something work. Is it professional looking? Not really. But you know what? This isn't a showpiece wagoneer. I'm all about functionality. Yes, I want stuff to look good, but again, in the end of the day, this isn't like a $100,000 restoration. This is my daily driver slash let's hit the dunes, let's go to the beach, go up the mountains, go camping kind of thing. And again, I mean, I'll make it, I strive to make everything, whatever I touch, as good as possible. But again, in the end of the day, I'm not making a showpiece vehicle. So with that being said, that's why, you know, it's good enough, you know. But anyways, that's enough for me blabbing. I've already talked for like almost 6 minutes. Stay tuned, more to come as we pick away at this thing.